right, go ahead. How long have you been out here? And state whatever you want to state. How you been treated?
How long have I been outside?
Yeah.
27 years. Okay. How have I been treated? That's hard to say, but I can say it because I don't give a fuck. Okay? Cherry Street Mission. Cherry Street Mission treats you like fucking shit, like you're nothing, like they're God gift to the world. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? The only God gift to the world is human beings. Okay? If you're not a human being first, then you're not nothing.
In the year 2018, I did a documentary on being homeless in Toledo and what was the process being done to help people get out that situation. As awareness grew, people had comments and even shared their own stories. I'm now doing a follow-up on things that may have or may not have changed, and as a self-proclaimed investigative journalist and an independent filmmaker, I simply want to present the facts and let people share their experience. I gave everyone a chance to speak, including the organizations mentioned in this film. Some spoke and some simply declined or never called me back within the 4-week period. So I met up with Dave to see what was going on with him, and that's where we start.
There's no reason to starve in this world. There's food everywhere. Food banks, churches feed you. You can find food all over. People are wasteful.
Yeah. So what would you say down to the people that like to use the Cherry Street Mission or homeless shelters? Do you feel like they make excuses or
They're lazy.
they lazy? Would you want to go in more detail about that?
I've been down there with Pedro. He goes to bank downtown. We'd be hanging out downtown. He'd be like looking for a woman or whatnot. I met them people, man.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
So through these last 2 years, have you tried to go back down to the Cherry Street Mission or tried it out?
I'd never go to that mission. I never go to no shelter.
Is it a reason why?
Yeah, because of them people.
Okay, because of people. What people are we talking about?
Lazy people.
Oh, lazy people?
Steal your shoes and stuff.
You know, I heard that last time I was down there too, that people were stealing stuff, so birth certificate, they couldn't get that back. What would you say about the workers? I heard some stuff down there about the workers as well. Like,
I don't know. I've never been down there.
Okay.
I've been by it. I've seen people outside it. I don't go that. I go to some churches once in a while.
Okay.
Get a free meal.
Okay.
Get some calories.
Okay.
But downtown ain't mine.
Ain't your cup of tea?
No.
So you prefer to live how you live right now, right?
Correct.
And the main thing is you don't like dealing with people like that, right?
Correct.
Or those type of people, the lazy people.
Yeah.
Now
if you want something, you go out and find it.
Yeah. All right. Well,
if you really want it, you can find it.
Got you. I remember bringing up the fact that you a Libra, right?
Yeah, Libra.
So my main thing
September 29th.
September 29th. Hey, okay, that's what's up, man. Now I do understand, like I said, I know all astrology ain't key or point like that. I remember saying it's only 25%. Do you believe that Libras actually like company or actually like being around people? Do you feel like that for yourself? Like you actually like being around people?
I like company once in a while. Everybody does, man. You can't be lonely all your life, but
yeah.
I like to be by myself too.
Okay. Have you made any new friends since 2018?
Oh yeah. I know a bunch of people, man.
Yeah. I think that's one thing about this. Like, I think you get more communication out of people than even people in society. I feel like the average person do not talk to other people like that.
Like I'm gonna try and find B, man. He's a drug addict. but he'll talk to us.
Okay.
He used to be homeless.
All right. So what's
He lived back in an apartment. He lived in a tent before. I know all sorts of people now.
brand new one?
I ain't dirty. I might keep it. See? 10 cents.
Yep.
I'll show you. 20 cents. 30 cents. If I'm real thirsty, now I might drink it.
Gotcha. Well, it's understandable. You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Finding some weird shit. 40 cents. Oh, Pepsi. I mean, Coke product or one.
So Dave is a light traveler. He only carries a bag around for his items, and his main source of transportation is a bike. We went down the street where he knew a guy, and the guy wound up saying he used to be, addicted to heroin. And we sat down for lunch and wind up just talking to Dave about what his thoughts was about, certain people that might be holding signs, and how did he feel about that.
They're street people, but man, they're all drug addicts.
Okay.
But everybody their own. I have my own problems. I'm not alcoholic. If they want to do that shit, man, that's fine.
Got you. So do you help them out as well whenever you can?
Oh yeah. You see me give him a couple of months.
Yeah, most definitely. Seeing that. How long have you known him for?
A couple of years.
Okay.
Street people, man.
Okay. Now, I don't know if you noticed, have you seen anybody else around here in the same predicament that does the same thing? That might not be homeless or anything like that. They just looking for handouts. So that's usually be the biggest thing why some people don't want to pay.
I don't pay any handle.
Okay, that's what I'm about to say. Do you believe that there's real actual panhandlers too that get mixed in with people that really need the help?
No.
Okay, so everybody that's holding signs really need the help.
They're looking for drugs.
We wind up stopping at one of Dave's friend's house where unfortunately my mic wasn't turned on, so I didn't wind up getting the audio in his interview, but he wind up saying I think he moved from Texas up here and he had some sort of accident or incident that wind up leaving him handicapped, and it was just a sad situation, but he said he still get around just fine and that wasn't slowing him down. So I decided to give, Dave a break, and then I headed downtown to see what was going on down there.
The hardest point is about the waiting and the consequences that you have to go through, the waiting lists and stuff like that. Yes, they can speed it up a little bit faster. Yeah, but you just have to wait.
Now, do the people that work in the shelters treat you well?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you ain't ran into nobody that's been nasty?
No.
Okay. And what shelter you decide to stay at or be with?
They haven't decided yet.
Okay.
Talking about, so meet her again Wednesday. I have an appointment Wednesday.
So are you out here on the street?
Yeah, I slept there.
Oh, you stay? Okay, that's where you be at.
Yeah.
So, have you ever been in this predicament during the wintertime or anything like that?
Once a while back in 90, 80. Yeah, that's when, but not recently. I feel like now,
Okay, how often do they host events for y'all to get food, water?
Yeah.
You know how they do it often?
Wash you. You can use the bathroom, wash up, take a shower, and come back out and stuff like that. And they feed you 3 times a day.
Oh, 3 times a day. So that's how feeding works. Yeah. Now, do the food? Is it big enough food to get full off of, or?
It's big enough to get full off of. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, my main thing would be this: if you could tell the whole Toledo anything you wanted to let them know, what would you let them know?
I'll let them know that come to St. Paul's is a good community center. Yes, it is, and get off the street and get themselves together before it's too late. Yes.
What would you tell the young women?
I'll tell them the same thing.
Same thing. I was told a woman was down the street setting up a small food bank, and I decided to go down there just to see what everything was about. And I'm glad I did.
My name is Nikki. I've been giving back my whole life, but privately. I'm the philanthropist in the background. I don't like to be in the pub. I don't want notoriety for what I'm doing. I'm doing it because there's people that need help and I'm able to give that help. So in 2019, I decided to stop being so scared and use what God gave me to help others, because that's why he put me on this earth, is to help others and to be the voice for the people that don't have a voice. And it took me 33 years to realize what I was here to do. And once I realized it in 2019, I just took off, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So I tried to do these meals. Since COVID, we've had to add in COVID measures. So now we add our mask in, we add in our deodorant, our hand sanitizers, our things that they need to get through the day that they might not have, on top of the meal, the fruit, the refreshments, the water. And on top of that, I just do more than just feed. I have a mentor program, because we have to get these young people to not wait till they're 33 to do what I'm doing.
Right.
We need to start with them now when they're 12, like my daughter is, and learning and teaching them, so when they become an adult, they're there already. They know how to help people. We don't have to learn and teach them credit and how to be a good Samaritan, because they know already, because we taught them at an early age.
Okay, well, so would you say this, have you been criticized for what you try to do, or you trying to help people?
Yes.
Anything like that?
Because when you have a past, and your past isn't always peachy and perfect, and now I don't have a bad background or never was in jail with the police or anything that way, but my attitude in my past has maybe given me a rep of that mean girl, or someone that, so having a past and now you're completely opposite of your past, some people don't know how to take that, because they only know you from the past.
Right.
So they have no idea what you've been doing your whole life, giving back and doing things like this in the background.
Yeah, in the background.
Definitely you get criticized, because for one, they look at you like, well, who is she to do this?
Yeah, to be so nice.
And she looked like us, and she from where we came from, and you know, so it's different.
Exactly.
But that's why I am that confident go-getter, and I don't care what nobody thinks, because that's why he gave me this job.
Right. So I definitely got to ask this big bomb right here. So have any other establishments, won't name names, but have any other establishments that deal with this type of charity work, have they tried to stop you? Have they tried to intervene? Because back in 2018, heard a couple things, yeah, like try to stop you from doing the work. Back in 2018, they were trying to stop a whole nother group over there at Toledo's Angels.
From doing that?
Yeah, they try to stop them from doing their work, which is why, thanks to ProMedica, they allowed them to do it on their property. So has anybody ever tried to come out to stop you from doing the work you do?
I have not had anyone try to stop me yet.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm not big enough, or maybe they know they'll never be able to stop me.
Yeah, most definitely.
So, you know, either or, but no, not yet. Hopefully not. But you do have the naysayers.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you always have those. But as to try to stop me, I follow all the rules, and I get the black and whites right first on paper. So I haven't had any issues yet. Hopefully I never do.
All right, so technically, if somebody wanted to know about how would you go about using the restroom, or you know, all that kind of stuff, technically your basic hygiene, has that changed? Like, how do you go about handling it?
I use bottles of water. I go to Circle K. I got poop bed. If it's real bad, I go in the woods.
Okay.
I take a shovel and bury it.
Okay.
I always carry paper with me. I have to show you toilet paper I picked up earlier. I usually try to go like Home Depot, Lowe's and whatnot, poop, take a bird bath. They let me shower down the street sometimes.
Okay.
And let me use their facilities. Other than that, you go to freaking goddamn nearest gas station, lock the door, wash your freaking stuff up.
Okay. So
take your poop.
All right, so mainly when now that you back here, you technically living solo back here now?
Yes.
And
thank God.
So what happened to like the last, you know, your last setup, your last time? I see that you changed it It's been different. It looks different.
I was burned down.
So it was burned down.
Yeah, Russia burned it down.
So he never gave you a reason why he burned it down, or?
He just said, "Oh, you don't want to go back there."
Okay, you think it was?
He's jealous.
Okay, it's jealousy that burned it down.
Yeah.
So is you happy about your new setup? How you got everything set up now?
I just makeshift. I want to get a real tent actually.
Okay. So what's the, I guess the worst, I won't say worst, but what's the craziest thing you've seen back here?
There's raccoons, possums. There ain't nothing crazy.
So how do you deal with that kind of stuff at nighttime?
Oh, I got a spear in there.
Oh, you got a spear?
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay, you got a spear in there.
Makeshift spear.
Okay.
Sharp on both ends.
Gotcha. Okay, sharp on both ends, both spears. So if you need to get some spear action, you need to get some spear action, you got it. All right, so now when it comes to food or anything like that, obviously, you know, you always can go out, get food.
Geno's. I don't like getting at dumpsters too much this time of year. It's too hot. But in the wintertime, I do some dumpster diving.
Okay.
So this time of year, I don't trust crap. So I try to eat out, Taco Bell, and it's only costs $1 or $2.
So is there anything you do if you don't have money for food? Anything like that?
I find it.
You find it?
I always find whatever I want.
So you don't never really go a day hungry or anything like that? Or?
No.
So what is the easiest to come by, liquids or actual food?
They're both easy. You can find whatever you want out there. It's a whole world out there. People are wasteful. And they just throw away all sorts of stuff, man.
Okay.
So sorry.
Yeah, it is. That's it's pretty messed up that they don't use that kind of stuff and they take it for granted. Do you feel like a lot of people take stuff for granted?
Yeah. Especially.
Okay.
Like I said, I worked out my whole life until now. Last couple of years. I had everything I wanted.
Okay, so it's
easy to adapt. It's like when the virus hit, I freaked out for a minute. But I adapted. So we're all humans.
Right.
It's easy to adapt.
Right.
To the situation.
So what about like in the medical field? Is it hard to get, like, if you need some type of medical help, is that kind of hard for you to get, or?
No, I don't get sick.
Okay, you don't get sick.
I haven't had a flu or a cold in like 2 years since I've been doing back here.
Now that actually might shock a lot of people because people going all crazy over this virus and usually getting sick or being outside. And technically, you are well.
Oh, you gotta watch these freaking mosquitoes.
Yeah, you're a well showcase of how you can still live out here and not be sick at all.
No.
So
I had some cuts and stuff, man, but yeah, you clean them up a little bit.
So what's easier for you? Is it summertime easier or wintertime? Like the easiest to live?
I like the fall and spring. Yeah, I ain't froze to death yet, but I make a fire. I don't like the heat that much, but you adapt to it. You're a human. We're all humans. You can adapt to anything.
So I think that probably will be one of the biggest messages to adapt. And like you were saying, now you don't care about no like homeless shelters. The people that's down there are usually...
No. Never.
Okay, so how long you been living like this back here?
2 years.
Has
going on 2 years.
It's been usually smooth sailing or any bumps in the road you want to tell us about?
What's that?
Has it been smooth sailing or any bumps in the road you want to tell us about?
People come back here and steal shit once in a while, but...
Okay, so what's the most valuable thing you think you had stolen?
I don't leave nothing valuable. It's in my bag.
So whatever in your bag, huh? Got you. Now,
or I steal pocket change. I can replace everything I got.
Okay.
Everything's replaceable in the world, dude.
Everything replaceable in the world. All right, is the reason you feel like that?
Because it's replaceable.
Okay, nope, just double checking. All right, that's what's up. No, you're right about that. So you technically you don't get temperament or you get mad over none of the stuff.
No.
Okay.
It's like that first aid kit. I don't care, man.
So have you met more mean people or nice people?
Nice.
So always nice. So you think nice outweighs the bad then in the world?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Everybody tries to help me.
Okay.
I try to help them. What comes around goes around. You help people, they help you.
All right, now in this life, having a love life, is that a thing, or that's something that just kind of happens? If it
I've had
happens?
so much women in my life, man. I don't really care anymore. I'm getting old. I'm almost 57.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just not a thing because it's not.
I ain't worried about that stuff anymore.
Okay. So what's your main form? Like, what's your main goal to just, I guess, living your life now? Like, what's your main focus, I should say, as you living day in, day out?
I just live the day out.
So you just take it day by day?
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess on a scale from 1 to 10, what would you put your happiness at?
I'd say 9.
9?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm always happy.
Always, yeah. Same, man. You gotta be. Yeah, you gotta be. So for all the people that wanted to get an update on you and all that kind of stuff, and they liked your story, if you can tell them anything that's changed from 2018, or if anything has been the same 2018, what would you tell them? Like just anything that might have changed from 2018.
Be nice to everybody.
Be nice to everybody.
Be nice to everybody.
Cause you never know.
Yeah.
But they could be going through.
This world's a little screwed up right now. Be nice.
All right, if you want to state your name and how long you've been in your predicament, go ahead.
My name's Daniel Lloyd. I've been homeless since 2010, and finally got my spot last year and working. It lost it because of the surgery and got another job. Just trying to get over the humps. It's hard, and it's trying to use my resources. You know, St. Paul's is the only place that got the resources to get you somewhere. You can go to the Gospel, which is on Madison, towards the old Major Bear. But you're not going, you can go to the Mission, you come to St. Paul's, they get you some meals, they get you on a plan to do stuff, save your money if you need help. They focus on housing. That's the main thing, getting people housing. That's the main focus.
All right, so ain't nowhere else been trying to help or been focusing on housing, nothing like that? Nobody else been trying to help y'all?
No, Salvation Army is maybe, they can get you a job in the factory. That's what they can do for you. Now that can help you because you can get a house through that and stuff. But that's the only other place. And they gon' put a lot of people don't do a religious emphasis, but I do and they do too. So that can really help whether they believe it or not. That's up to them.
Gotcha. So do you got any like horrific stories or any type of ways, anything like that?
Yeah, I got a horrible story, man. Listen, I wasn't even supposed to be on drugs. I didn't get on cheat till I got homeless at the Cherry Street Mission in the bathroom. I wasn't on none of that shit. So, life spiraled and I went down and down. And almost, 9 years later, I'm finally getting close.
Gotcha.
So, and if I didn't know about this, but guess what though? This is a real key thing for anybody else that's gonna get homeless. Don't go to Cherry Street, don't go to the Gospel, nigga. Take your ass to St. Paul's and you're gonna get a spot, whether it's 2, 3, 4, 7, 10 months, 13, guess what? You're gonna have food, place, shower, then a spot later and a job, and you probably gonna build some friendships, at least that one good friendship that'll get you some who knows.
Right.
Because people come from everywhere, even out of state. They come here and or somewhere, and it's,
All right, so what you saying about the Church Mission is they might not help, or the other, even the Gospel, they might not be helping. So they not helping as good as.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They get you the meals if you do the work, and I mean that's cool too. But when you compensate your whole 24, maybe your 14, 13, because you gotta do a number of hours, then go to the church, then go to the Bible study, so you can just cut out working a job if you stay at the Mission, because they told me. I showed them. I was doing 40 hours a week at the Goodwill. How can I do that stuff when y'all banned me, I didn't even get high. Y'all banned me because I don't have a church and I'm not going to things and doing community service. But that's because I'm working 40 hours a week. You know what they told me to my face?
What?
I'm sorry, Daniel Lloyd, we can't help you. But I'm like, I still got one eye and I'm working 40 hours a week when we got people with 2 eyes that do shit and you can't help me?
Right.
But guess what? That's all fine and dandy.
Right. No, that's the truth we looking for right here. I try to give them a chance to speak. They act like they don't want to speak.
No,
so
I'm gonna tell the real deal.
Yeah. So how do the employees at the mission treat y'all? I heard some bad stuff
You
about them.
gonna find a couple good ones, but man, listen, majority of people, they working to get their paycheck, and that's obviously important, but that's the main goal. And then, you gotta remember, dealing with a shelter, you're dealing with a number of personalities. You're gonna deal with mad, sad, happy, horny, all that shit together. So if you ain't even equipped to deal with the people, you really shouldn't be there. And they just be trying to hire people that ain't gonna sock nobody up for real. Cause you gonna get in, it's real stuff broken down inside this situation. Cause they got protocols and stuff.
Right. So I guess one of the main things I just say this: if you could tell the whole city of Toledo anything, what would it be?
Go to St. Paul's, the Salvation Army. They gonna help you the most, and then you try to get what you can get, then branch off and keep the Lord first. And you do that, then you gonna get somewhere. You gonna get somewhere.
Yeah.
What's up?
All right. So if you want to state your name and
My name is Bertha Reddick. I've been homeless off and on since I was about 12. I got put out the house at an early age because my mother never wanted me. So the streets is basically all I know. I started coming downtown about 12 years old, walking the streets, prostituting, using drugs. I go to the shelter. Now the shelters at first was really, back then, because I guess it's a lax situation. They didn't know what they was really doing, putting the rules together. But they did a lot more for us. And a lot of people took advantage of that, okay? But as a result, the people now that we need it, they don't want to give it because so many people misuse it. Now, I'm not giving them any leeway because during this COVID, they assume rather spit on you than help you. Okay, they use the power trips like, you can find somewhere to go, but we ain't even allowed outside. Okay, and they'll tell people out here that ain't doing what they feel they should do and we ain't even in their program, that if they see too much stuff, they can stop feeding you. They can no longer associate with you and tell you they would not give you no services because they assume you doing something. So therefore, if we already downtrodden and you do that, what other reactions do we do besides violence or drugs? You telling us we ain't no good now, we ain't worth helping because of this epidemic, and you got that much control where you can say who come in and out at your own will.
Okay. So how would the staff, does that goes into how the staff treat y'all?
They care. Yeah, that goes into how the staff treat them. They got their picks and chooses. Now, they good staff. Don't get it twisted. They basically good people, period. But, when it comes to what the COVID is allowing people in positions like St. Paul's staff and things that have a position of power that they didn't have before it happened. Okay? Now, Cherry Street, if you ain't there, you ain't coming in. They don't care if you starve, you out on the streets. Look, one of the staff is even trying to get blackmailing people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you didn't hear about that one though. Yeah, that's before the COVID. Yeah, there was blackmailing, getting money out of people. How is it that you work and you get a job, you can call and blackmail somebody? That's not right. We come to people for help. We come to these shelters for help, support, and some of us, this is all we know. This is all we got.
So real quick, the guard or whoever that was trying to blackmail, does he still work there?
Yeah, she still works there. She still works there. Okay. And pressing charges on him because he went. All kind of things. But this COVID is destroying a lot of home life. And I'm a woman that sleep on concrete out here. And it's a lot worse for us because I sleep around churches. A man, anybody that walk past the church and not pay attention. You sleep on this sidewalk, I had to fight one night. I'm not on this. If you don't want to help us, why open these centers? If it's all about money, just get our name and our number.
Right.
You ain't got to do shit else but show off when the camera around. That's it. And I'm so sick of society. Only time y'all worried about us is when you want to be elected. Around election time, Christmas time, and all that good shit.
Yeah, that's what
we need more than just food down here.
So what else? What kind of stuff do y'all need?
We need clothing for people. We need a women's shelter down here with more than just 5 women at a time. Okay. We need a whole lot of things. We need men. We need people that's gonna help us with rent. The people that don't know how to live in a household. They need to get some training or something to show us. They don't give a fuck about us out here, for real. We just a paycheck.
Okay.
And that's how I feel. I'm done.
And one of my last things I'll just say is this. If you can give a message to the entire Toledo or this community, what would it be?
Just because you feel as low as you is to the ground don't mean that they got the right to step on you. You can't get back up.
It was time for me to go meet with the executive director at St. Paul's. And once again, we see this pattern of everybody have so much good stuff to say about St. Paul's and not so much to say about the Cherry Street mission. Now, once again, I'm very unbiased and I try to give them a chance to speak, but just nobody has reached back out to me. And as a filmmaker, it's only right for me to be transparent and let the people say what they felt their experiences were. So let's go find out. Why is the people recommending St. Paul's so much and so highly? All right, so if you want to give us a reintroduction, you know I was here in 2018. You want to go ahead and reintroduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Joe Habib. I'm the president and CEO of St. Paul's Community Center. We're located right here in Toledo, Ohio at 230 13th Street.
Okay. And since 2018, has anything changed on the system of helping the less fortunate?
Besides COVID, we're leaving COVID out of this, you know. Well, helping the homeless and serving the homeless population is an ongoing mission. In 2 years, 2 years is a very short period of time to see any significant changes. But the one significant change that really happened is the homelessness board has grown tremendously. You know, we have witnessed a 180 degrees change in the way the homelessness board is conducting business. That change occurred sometime last summer, 2019, and we're already seeing the effect. I think it's operating under a stronger management, under a more cohesive mentality towards one single goal, which is, of course, eliminating homelessness. So I'm very pleased with that.
All right, yeah, that's nice. So I guess the second question will be about with the effects of COVID. Has that had any effects on the process?
Of course.
Slow it down, speed it up, anything like that?
Yeah, COVID. Who hasn't been affected by COVID? It took me about a couple of months just to came to the conclusion that with COVID, we have to rethink the way we do business. Rethink the way you do business. Things, and you've seen it everywhere. You know, in the old days, you had to meet face to face. Now it's okay to Zoom. You know, so it's the way you do business.
Right.
So with the homeless population, of course, in the old days, we used to provide food for those who need food right here at the shelter. Mm-hmm. Now we have the curbside giving. So we still don't turn anybody away, but now we just give them it to go. Now come winter time, we have to rethink that as well. So it's all an ongoing working process. We still have the winter crisis program in the winter time, to where we open the doors for anybody to come in, and we give people cots and food and availability of showers and so on. We have to rethink that. We don't have the space. So we're thinking about collaborating with other entities, and we're in the middle of it right now, of collaboration. Intakes. We used to do intakes face-to-face, please come down and so on. Now we found a way to have intakes be done over the phone. The advantage of that is you can hear for symptoms, you can hear for coughs, you can hear if a person has difficulty breathing. This way it's just a protective measures for them and for us. Before they come into the shelter, we can hear those symptoms, and we're in doubt we can ask some more questions, whether a person has it or has been exposed. With the leadership of the Homelessness Board, for example, we have an isolation quarantine protocol put in place for individuals who have been identified, homeless individuals who have been identified as exposed or carrying the virus. We have the ability to quarantine them and isolate them in motels with the dignity that's attached to that. Internally, of course, needless to say, sanitization station, mask and so on. But now we have to think about how people are sitting down for lunch. In the old days, it used to be rectangular tables like these. Well, maybe that's not the best idea. Maybe we switch to round tables with dividers. So at least if somebody's sitting in front of you, you have that glass divider. Round tables, you can separate them 6 feet apart versus rectangular table, one right next to each other. So a lot of little things like that have changed. But the core mission hasn't. The core mission hasn't. There's still homeless individuals out there. We are still in the business of helping folks. Transportation has changed. In the old days, you would think of nothing of having the client, the resident, sit next to you in the car as a passenger. Well, that doesn't fly anymore, you know. You have to have dividers, taking people in groups, having group approach. We used to have like group meetings. Well, you have to rethink all that. So bottom line is you have to rethink how you do business in the COVID environment.
Hey, I like that. Man. Thanks for the nice introduction right there to the information. In your experience or in your time here, what's the longest you've seen someone in a situation?
Homeless? It changed. I mean, it goes from literally one day. We have people who just came in overnight and they went what we call AWOL, and disappeared on us. We have people who stayed here for a year for different reasons, and I'll tell you, I'll get more into that.
Yeah, most definitely.
But the ideal that we want to shoot for, if we were living in a perfect universe, the shelter should be a hopping stone for people just to go housing. You come in maybe overnight, and then we have a place for you. But the reality is not. Right now in this community, we're shooting for a 50 days maximum as a length of stay at the shelter. Now you ask me, why do people stay longer? Well, you know, a lot have changed, and I have to go back in history a little bit. 211 has changed a lot of things. I'll give you a small little example. In the old days, if your legal name was James and you go by Jim, that was fine. You walked in Social Security, they all know. Right now, if you want to get a Social Security card, they need to have your absolute legal name. Even one dot, one comma, one dash is not gonna allow you to get the legal document that you need. And we have people who, for example, on their Social Security records, they're listed as Jimmy, but their birth certificate as James. Well, that's a big deal. Now you have to get proof that you're James, but you cannot get proof until you get proof that you're not Jimmy, and that you get into that cycle. Let alone if you were born outside of Ohio, like New York City. That's even worse. Now you go back in time. We have some of the older gentlemen or the older ladies that were born with really not in the hospital. So really it even complicates things a little bit more. So you have these obstacles that come into play, and it's just giving you one example of why people stay long. Of course, you have the usual. People have open warrants that we work with them. People have substance abuse issues, which is not an obstacle in the housing first model, but still it's an obstacle in the ability of the person to remain stable in the place. This is why now we're developing a housing stability program. So in the old days, it wasn't enough for a person to come in the shelter and get him housed. Now we're going the extra step is come to the shelter, let's help you get housed, but let's follow up with you in the community just to make sure that you're stable. But that was a long answer for a short question.
No, most
Yeah.
definitely no. That's what we're here for. We need the
Yeah.
information. The people need to, get that transparency, and that's another reason why I enjoy coming here as well, because y'all seem very, very transparent.
Yes. Thank you.
Which lead me into the next question. On a lot of good things have been said about St. Paul's.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think that is? That's
Well, I'll take the compliment any day. Thank you for everybody who is complimenting us. But I'll tell you, my philosophy, our philosophy, of course, we are client-centered. We are not here to make things difficult on them. We admit people, no questions asked. You're homeless, you don't have an ID, that's fine. We get you in. We try to provide an ongoing clean environment. The quality of food, I always say, if I go down to the kitchen and if I don't eat it, I don't want to eat it, it shouldn't be served.
That's powerful.
It shouldn't be served, really. That's just as simple as that, We listen to individuals. We are fair. And that's really the difference that makes a difference. I'm not saying that other entities out there don't, but at least our philosophy is that we are client-centered. Our philosophy is you are here as a client, as a resident, to get housed. So we have 2 case managers that work together towards achieving that goal. And I believe that's the difference that makes the difference.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
That's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Now, has it been difficult getting to this point to being able to help people the way that y'all want to help them or you want to help them? Has it been difficult getting to that point?
It's always a move to that ideal.
Okay.
It's always a move to that ideal. Ideally speaking, if I had my way and all the unlimited resources, like we were saying earlier, nobody should be in a homeless shelter. Right. You get the call, we have the people ready, we have the apartments ready, we have the units ready, we have the stability management team ready just to get you placed in your own place, and then we can work with you in your own place, But let me understand more the question. What?
Has there's been a thing that's been going around. Obviously, even in last documentary stuff been brought up. Just have there been any other things that could have slowed the process or been difficult for you to be able to help
see.
help
Obstacles.
Yeah, other obstacles.
Other
or anything
obstacles.
like that.
Well, the biggest obstacles is, there's individual obstacles, there's a system obstacles. Individual obstacles is really the person doesn't have enough income. No matter what, you need an income to get a place. Now that person doesn't have the income, doesn't have the ability to work maybe, which is all fine. Now we have to apply for benefits. Applying for benefits take time. So until we have this income come in, yes, we can get a subsidized unit for 0 rent, but then what do you do? What do you eat? How do you get around? So so that's another obstacle. You have an individual obstacle could be an individual with a very long criminal history. Now that should not be an obstacle, but the landlords, they do criminal background checks, and a lot of individuals get eliminated right there and there because of that. Now this becomes an individual obstacle which crosses with the system's obstacle. Why is the system set up that way? Somebody commits an offense, they go to court, they pay their dues, they pay their debt to society. Why is that record haunting them 5 years later? Why? It shouldn't be. So there's a system problem here.
Yes.
Another system problem is housing stock. In Toledo, we don't have the housing stock that we need. We may have maybe 500 individuals on the streets, but maybe 80 units. So what do? Now you create a bottleneck, so people are queuing up. Yeah. They're ready for housing, but there's no housing to go to. So that's a system problem, of course. So it's always a combination, of both. And some people, I'll tell you, some people also, it's a matter of preference, it's a matter of individual thinking. The stars are aligned for them. They don't want the unit. It's like, why? In their mind, there's a very valid reason, but from the outside looking in, the reason sounds frivolous to us. Like, so what could it be? Well, I don't like this side of town. Well, fine, you don't like the side of town. Great, but the stars are aligned for you to get off the street. How long do we want to wait for that ideal housing for you? To you and I would say, if it were me, I'd say, I'll take it as a stepping stone.
Same.
And then I'll work on something different. These are individual thoughts which are very valid to them. It could be the untold story here that you and I may not understand is, well, maybe I got molested as a child in that neighborhood. And every time I walk by this neighborhood, I get these anxieties and post-traumatic. And maybe people are not readily or are not ready to disclose that. And to us, it looks like frivolous. He just doesn't like that side. It's not that. There's other reasons. There's always a reason if you dig deep enough. So, but we work with this within the system. We try to probe a little bit why this person doesn't like. It's not doesn't like.
Yeah.
There's more to the story.
Right.
And we try to put the support services that are required for that person to make it. So there you go.
Yeah, so, all that's good, man. So I guess one of the next questions would be, what is the hardest part about your position specifically?
To me, again, I'm, say, the CEO of St. Paul's Community Center. Deep down, I'm a social worker. I want to see everybody housed, but also I have to put in my administrative hat. I gotta pay the bills.
Okay.
I gotta pay payroll. So it's really securing the funding. And there's an ongoing threat of funding being cut. I've been in this position for 5-6 years, and every year it's, this funding is going to be cut out. That funding is dwindling. Supporters, always have to go in and raise new money. So these are my obstacles, is I have to look at this as a business also.
Yeah, right.
I have to pay the lights and the rent and everything else. So that's the difficulty of my job, is just to make sure that we have enough funding going to carry out the mission.
Okay, do you think the public would know that part about so that they might be able to step in and try to help?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I have to say, Toledo, I can speak for Toledo.
Okay. Toledo
Toledo has been very generous as individual donors. We have a lot of individual supporters that send $20, $30, and maybe more. We're very appreciative to that, because that money goes towards clients or paying things that a grant may not. I'll give you an example. By helping somebody get a birth certificate, it may cost $25, $30, but there's very little funding that will directly pay for that. Or somebody, for example, who lined up a job, but they want them to have specific shoes or boots for that job. Well, you need to come up with $60, $70 fast.
Yes.
For them to get boots. So all that is part of helping individuals get back on their feet, but there's no specific funding that helps. So the generosity of the donors helps a lot in that respect. Or sometimes it could be buying food, whatever it is, Yes.
That's technically like the backbone.
That's the backbones, exactly. But my challenge as an administrator is to balance the business side of it with the mission side of it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess one of the last things I ask, if you could give a message out to the community and other people in your position, what would it be?
That's a good question, actually.
What would be the message?
The message is, please, there's a lot of stereotype and stigma still about the homeless. You say homeless individuals and an image comes to your mind. I'm here to say that image may be 1% true, but the homeless individuals are your neighbors and your parents and your children and individuals that you know. If you really think about it, which COVID has proved it, We are all a paycheck away from homelessness. And COVID proved that. We've known that, and we always say it, and it was fun to say it, and so, but COVID proved it. We have not a lot, but individuals who have done very well in their lives, but due to a loss of a job, due to an illness, due of whatever. So I want to say, as the message I want to say, the homeless are Toledoans, they are your neighbors, they are people that you may or may not know. Please, the next time you encounter a homeless individual, it's not that bum on the street who doesn't want any help.
Thank you.
It is not at all.
All right, man, if you want to give your name or your situation, go ahead.
My name is Daniel Toms. I'm homeless in Toledo. I live outside downtown on the streets of Toledo.
All right, now, one of my main things I've been trying to figure out and been asking people is, what's being done to help y'all get out y'all situation?
Man, I'm working with Zeph Center. I went to Zeph Center and signed up, and they working on getting me a caseworker and getting me on some, maybe seeing if I need medication and stuff like that, to see what my problem is, to get me started, to help me getting off the streets. There's some caseworkers around these community shelters that help me, but it's kind of hard for them to help you when you're not in these shelters, and it's a lot of rules and stuff to get people in these shelters, and it's a lot of reasons why some people can't get in them, so
that's
a little hard.
Now, have you tried the Cherry Street mission down over there?
Yep, I tried the mission. I was in the mission for a while. They put me out because I was gone during the day, looking for a job and going to GED classes, and I wasn't working around the kitchen for points and around there going to Bible study meeting for points, and they put me out permanently for looking for a job and going to school. So.
And they knew that's what you was out here doing, right?
Yeah, we had a big meeting about it. They still made me leave. It was incredible. I was like, wow, okay, wow.
Well, this is what I heard. Once again, I'm not trying to be biased, but at the same time, I did hear this. Somebody told me, is it an employee over there that's been trying to blackmail people to do certain stuff, or they?
It might be. It's a lot of shady undercover stuff going over there at the mission. It's a lot of stuff going on. So I don't know, man. It's not 100% all the way there. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on over there, man.
All right. So what do you feel that's going on that people don't see, and what you would want people to know?
That there are people down here that need help. They willing to do stuff to, accept help and get out of their situation. They just looking for that chance to help a hand down here. I just want to let people know there's people out here that need any help and all the help they can get down here. So we out here, and we are trying to do stuff for ourselves, but every little bit helps. So yeah.
All right. So what about the staff? Do the staff treat y'all good or not?
The tribe treat us pretty good. I can't complain. They do a lot to go out their way to help us around here. So I can't say too much bad stuff about them. They're pretty cool down here in St. Paul. So yeah.
All right. Then one of my last main things I'll say: if you could tell the city of Toledo or anybody anything, what would it be?
Don't ever just give up when you feel you're at your bottom, when you're at your hopeless. You know what I'm saying? Always go to somebody, try to find the right people to go to or to talk to. And you know what I'm saying? Because somebody always know better. And somebody's, it's always a chance and some hope out there for you. So, yeah, it gets hard, but, it's probably always a way out of it. So, always, keep trying, at the end,
Anything else hidden that we might need to know? Anything else we just don't know?
Oh man, shit! Okay. Come down here, visit the people, man. We out here on the streets, man.
Okay.
Downtown Toledo, man. We out here, bro.
My name is Alonzo Thomas. I'm 40. I've been down here in this situation for quite a few times. I just got out from being incarcerated for 10 months. I came back to the same thing when I said that I wasn't. Life down here, this is our family down here. We all family. We in this together. We all do the same thing. We chill out, hang out every day. We don't cause no problem with nobody. This is our home. But people don't understand that. We try to keep it clean. We try to do what we do. Mm-hmm. It's hard.
What about how the staff treating y'all?
They treat us fair, but in order to give respect, we got to give respect.
Gotcha. Okay, and that's fair. That's that's right everywhere. So what about the Cherry Street Mission? Have you had any dealings with them, or just
I don't deal with them because they're shutting everybody out right now because of this coronavirus situation.
Okay.
They don't want nobody there.
Okay.
So this is where people sleep at.
Okay.
In front of St. Paul. So.
Got you. Only thing I've been hearing nothing but nice stuff about St. Paul's, and I feel like a lot of people gravitate towards down here. Has there been anything that's been going on that you might want to let people know that maybe everybody don't know? That's going on with this whole, how y'all being treated or your living situation, or how just the general public treating y'all? Is there anything going on that people might not know?
Right now, being downtown, we consider us outsiders. To me, we outsiders to everybody else.
Right.
Because we down here.
So
that's how I see it.
All right, so I'm gonna say this. With you dealing with the Cherry Street Mission, I know you said they stopping people from coming in because of the corona. Are they feeding y'all? Are they helping still do anything with donations?
No.
Now I heard St. Paul said he do curbside. So is it really true that they helping y'all with curbside? All right. So Cherry Street Mission not doing nothing to help nothing.
No.
But St. Paul's is. All right. Now have you been around any other shelters that people might not know? Okay. So nothing but just St. Paul's down here?
Wait, I'm not in a predicament, but I know people that are.
Got you. Okay, you know people that is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, one of my last things I'm gonna say is, if you could tell the whole Toledo or this community anything, what would it be?
That this is a good city. It's not as bad as everybody say it is. This is home from home.
Got you. All right, now, what's your name? And
my name is Milton Willis.
All right, and how long you been in your predicament?
I've been in my predicament for about 2.5 years.
All right, now you say that you was a vet, all that kind of stuff.
Yep, I was a Vietnam vet. I graduated from Scott High School. I went to Libby, but I graduated from Scott. I ran track. I coached young kids at the Early Bird basketball camp at Smith Park, and I ran track and I played basketball. So I got a lot of trophies. But how I got into this predicament, I was living over by Smith Park, and my mom died. So when my mom died, right after that, my mom died at 101.
Okay.
My aunt died at like 99 to 100. So all my siblings are dead. My granddaddy, my great-granddaddy, my aunt. I just got my 8 girls and 14 grandkids, and I got a couple nephews. So my nephew is trying to help me get the house together. So I took a lot of stuff out the house and had a buck pickup. But they stole the furnace out the basement. So I still got to clean the basement up. So basically, in a way, I am homeless, but in a way I'm not.
Okay.
But I don't have a refrigerator.
Right.
And I don't have a stove. I got a couple of hot plates. So when I get food and go to the churches, I put it in the cooler, but it's costing a lot of money to buy ice. But the church I go to say they're going to try to help me get a refrigerator. Hopefully they do. And hopefully I can still live off a hot plate. So I'm just basically trying to keep my head above water.
All right, so is it a reason why you don't deal with the shelters or anything like that?
I used to go to Cherry Street, but one night I went to Cherry Street because I paint houses too, so I get work like that. I went to Cherry Street and it was raining real hard. And when I went in Cherry Street, I got a bed, I laid down, and I looked over at the guy next to me, and it was bed bugs, and they was eating him up. My hat was on the floor. I picked my hat up with bed bugs all in my hat. I said, I got to get out of here.
Right.
My mom was still living, but I was on my way home, but it was raining so hard I couldn't make it. So I got out, went on Door Street at the bus stop, waited till it stopped raining, got to the front door. I know my mom was gonna kill me if I bring the bed bugs in there, because my mom was a clean person. I stripped all my clothes off at the front door and got my key, and she said, when I came to the door, she's like, what the hell wrong with you? I said, Mama, you stand out here butt naked. I said, well, I want to stop the church because it was raining and I didn't want to bring no bed bugs. She said, boy, take them clothes and throw them in the garbage can right now, get some butt on here and take me a shower and put some bleach on you and clean up. Yeah. So, you know, hey, that's the story about that.
Just roll the streets, man. You see a lot of stuff. There's a world out there, man. The whole world. You don't see it from your couch.
Hey, definitely right about that.